All right. Welcome back to TENAMINT TV. I am Zach. I'm here with Sal. We're happy to have you joining us from wherever you may be tuning in from. But let's dive into it, Sal. First things first, we need to recap what we saw in the Euros and make sure that we remind the viewers that if they're not watching, they're missing out because you gave them almost a play by play exact prediction of what was going to happen and how it was going to happen in that game script for Spain. Uh, and essentially, we're just giving out free picks here. So let's recap that first.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm not gonna say it was all skill and not some luck involved, but shit, man. It was pretty. He's like almost spot on. I think I was 4 for 5, if I'm not mistaken. To Spain final score to be 2-1. Spain will score first. England to score the second goal, and Spain to score again late. Like that was spot on. So guys, yeah, if you're not tuned in, you should be, because this is free knowledge right here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think the only one that did not hit in the flash picks was the first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Um, and then right after that, everything else, right, just right according to script. We sent in the script on how it should go down, and they followed along. So
and we get the script early here.
right, right. So just a reminder, hop in that Telegram group if you're not already. That's where we are throwing down before, during, and after the big events. That's where you can get the alpha for maybe the next big game script that we get our hands on. Uh, Also, be sure that you're getting in there, getting your picks in the Tenement um, Pick'em app in Telegram. Play to earn. Those reminder, as those flash picks are worth double points. So those were the ones that we followed along with, and if you tailed, you won. So uh, moving forward, we're looking at we're here in the heat of the summer, and the sports calendar might be ice cold, but the team is still cooking hot with new features in the Telegram bot. Sal, we got baseball in here now. Uh,
gosh.
Firing up baseball for the second half of the season. Uh, Maybe share a little bit on your thoughts looking forward and how we feel about the second half of the MLB season.
Hey, yeah, for sure. I'll just start by saying I'm so glad baseball is here. I'm glad we were able to, get that integrated on the app. For those that don't know, I'm a big baseball fan. Really, like that keeps me alive during the summer while there's no basketball, no football, no hockey. Thank God for baseball. So yeah, man, really, really happy to get that live. How do you want to do it, man? Should we go through some of the picks, some of the games that are coming up tomorrow, or are we talking standings?
Yeah, we can run through some picks. I mean, I'm just excited because this is going to be something that that baseball is going to be there every night. So you can pull up the app, damn near every day, and you're always going to find baseball games in there. Even on days that it's a light schedule, there's always games.
There's always baseball, man. There's
There's
always
always games. Yeah, and
TV
not to
there.
mention, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you turn on your TV, and there's always baseball, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the beauty of it. Yeah, and you guys will see, like, this is an easy way to rack up those points, because on any given day you've got 15 games, just full stack of you know 150 potential points that you could be earning. So
Yeah, yeah, right. And what I like, I mean, all summer long, it's like, I mean, for as long as I can remember, baseball, it kind of operates, almost as like the background noise to my summer. Whether I'll be outside, hanging out or doing yard work or whatever, I'll throw a game on the radio, put a game on TV, get some stuff done. So, I know people might complain that baseball might not be as high wire action as some of the other major sports, but it's all in how you watch it and how you consume it. I think it's a great. I know attendance this year is at an all time high, so Obviously, it's still a fun sport to consider. It's the sport of the summer, so this is what's going to get us through the rest of these dog days. Um, and like I said, if nothing else, you can just fire away on these games every day, and there is no shortage of opportunities to rack up points. That's for sure. Um, yeah, if you want, we can kind of get through it here. We can go through these predictions. I can kind of just rattle off some what we're looking at in the. Let's see, we got some NL teams up here first. So it looks like the Phillies are sitting with the best record in the NL. They're leading the East. The Brewers first in the Central, and the Dodgers are first in the West. Um,
Yeah.
Shifting over to the AL, we got Baltimore in first, Cleveland in first, and Seattle. So, I guess first, before we get through the picks, how do you feel about how the first half went? Or was there anything you were surprised about, or anything that you're looking forward to in the second half?
I'll say that if there's anything I'm disappointed about, it's how the Jays have been performing, man. I feel like there is a lot of talent on the roster, and me being a Jays fan, it's kind of hurt to see us get off to such a terrible start. Where we in the standings there? Dead last in the AL East, and it might be too late even to go on a run here, man. Honestly, even though things were looking a little bit better, but I'm not surprised to see Baltimore up there. And I'm surprised to see Seattle doing this well. To be honest, that was a little bit surprising for me. I kind of had the Astros and Rangers ahead of them. Um, Cleveland is right where I thought they'd be. Philly's right where I thought they'd be. The thing with this season is there's been a lot of injuries, especially early on to some of these pitchers. So a lot of teams struggling potentially for that reason. So, but I don't expect to see too much shifting in terms of the schedule. Oh, sorry, the standings going forward. Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah,
There you go.
sorry. I was going to say that I agree, and there certainly have been injuries were a big narrative in the first half. Certainly Atlanta, they lost their ace in Strider, their best player in Acuna. They've been decimated. You hate to see teams losing their top guys, but at the same time, I look at this time of season as almost this is when you kind of can start separating. Um, the contenders from the pretenders, and then other teams, this is when you start adding pieces for that stretch run. We start approaching the trade deadline, and teams kind of start loading up for a big push. And the other thing that's exciting that I enjoy is ever since they added the new playoff spot, that you know as a Cardinals fan, I mean, it's like the Cardinals are in the mix for that every year. They might not always get it, but it's like that, just that mediocrity, not terrible,
Yeah.
kind of in the mix. I mean, it's like you can just pencil in the NL Central is going to have one of those extra wild cards every year because there isn't much separating these teams. None of them are. I don't feel like it. None of them are good, uh, but none of them are bad either. So it's
Yeah.
just kind of.
I hear you, man. Honestly, all that you just got to get to the dance, and in October, anything can happen, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so yeah, I hate to see the Jays down there. Let's see if we can.
I'm looking at some of these percentages on the app right now, and I'm like, I don't know about all these picks that the public's making. I agree with most of them, but there's some that stand out as like, this could go either way. What do you think about obviously we're just coming off All-Star week, essentially. You think some of these teams are tired? The teams that were loaded up on All-Stars, you think they're, you know,
I don't know. It's always, that's always the big debate, right? And then it's whether or not guys that participated in the home run derby, if they're going to fall off in the second half, which, we have seen that happen before. I don't know. I think some of that's a little bit overstated, and I don't know that one night of batting practice is going to ruin a guy's second half, but at the end of the day, I mean, the home run derby was fun to follow along with. I kind of did like the new format where it's not a full on bracket, but they still integrated those head to head matchups to kind of like after that opening round. So did like to see that. But as far as the All Star game itself, it's kind of lost some of its shine for me ever since. I mean, I don't know. There's not a perfect way to do it. It's just like I didn't love when it determined home field. I don't love now that it just has nothing riding on it. It's just I liked it so much as a kid. It's hard to get into it now, but I do enjoy the All Star break because that's the reset to looking forward and recharging for the second half.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's get into it. We're a little bit limited on time here. Any big matchups or any games that you feel maybe you're not siding with the public on it?
Let's see. I kind of like. I mean, I'm not really sure why the Phillies are 25% to Pittsburgh 75. I mean, that certainly seems. Um,
Yeah, they got Aaron Nola on the mound, right? Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
definitely riding with the Phillies there. And I don't mind Chicago Cubs in that first game there at the top. We lost the app screen there, but we'll get that back up in a second. The Chicago Cubs versus the Diamondbacks. I mean, that could go either way, but I'm going to ride with Chicago here.
I agree. I do agree with that. The Diamondbacks kind of made a surprise run into the. I mean, they got all the way to the World Series last year, right?
Yep.
Come on. What else do we have? I will say the Blue Jays are right now 65%, 35% Detroit. Blue Jays are favored over the Tigers. And this is another. How do you feel about that one? I guess we'll start there.
I like it. Gosman's on the mound. I think that the Blue Jays needed that All-Star break. I'm sure everyone's just like rest and recovered. We didn't have anybody in the home run derby. Thank God Vladdy wasn't there. I mean, I would have loved to see it, but from a Jays fan perspective, I think everyone just needed that little reset. Absorb some of that little bit of improvement that we saw leading up to the All-Star break, but now just come back and start swinging it right. So I like Toronto to, especially at home. The dome's open today. It's good energy in the city and all that. So I like Toronto tonight.
What dictates when the dome is open and not?
Oh man, I wish I knew the exact reasoning behind it all. It's really hurt us in the playoffs. It's a temperature thing. So like the metal expands or something. So below a certain temperature, they're not able to. It's dangerous for it to be opened. And there's rain considerations as well. And so it's a major factor when it comes down to October. When it matters the most, and that dome closes, the stadium loses energy. Like literally, like the difference between being at a Jays game when the dome's open versus when it's closed is night and day. I refuse to. If the dome's closed, I just won't go to the game. I don't care if I have tickets. Like I will sell the tickets at a loss and just buy another set of tickets. When the dome's open.
It's funny you mentioned that because when I go to Colts games here in Indy, I will fire tweets at the owner all the time about opening the roof because they have the retractable roof also, and it's just like open the roof, Jim, open the roof,
The roof.
and I fire those to him all the time. And he actually, I mean, it's not me, but he references. He's like, "Oh, I know the fans. They always like to chime in on the roof open or closed," and he kind of plays along with it too. So yeah, it's definitely a big part. It is a game changer in the experience.
Yeah.
Open or close. So as we're wrapping up here, one final pick that let's see. I mean, I gotta go. I gotta take the Cards here. I mean, show the Cards some love. 16%. That's not going to cut it. We need to see some more love for the Cards against the Braves.
Yeah, I don't even mind that pick regardless. Like, Cards are doing pretty well before the break, right? Like they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, they did kind of heat up. They started very, very slow, but they certainly did heat up as the season went on, or as the first half wore on. So hopefully they can carry some of that momentum here into the second half. But final thoughts, Sal, as we are excited, everybody get in there, get your tournament baseball picks in. Keep an eye out as we are going to be adding in some more Olympic events. And then obviously, as we get further on into the summer and heading in towards fall, we'll start ramping up some football talk too. So,
yeah, can't wait for both of those, Olympics and football, but really excited to have baseball here to really, really carry the torch, especially WNBA's on break too, right? I think they break for the
that's
Olympics,
right. Yeah,
right?
they last night I think was the final break.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're out of time here, but I'm disappointed to see Caitlin Clark and Sabrina not participating in the 3-point competition. That would be the reason to watch. And
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, uh, like I said, thanks again, guys, for coming out, and we will see you on the next episode.
all right, all right. See you guys.